Escudo is a new-ish micro-brand company, and today we're going to review one of their diver watches. This one is called Azure, and it costs about $1,500. $1,500 is not cheap, and I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks for a watch like this. This watch has to do something better than other watches in this or lower price category. And you know how these reviews go. I'm going to give you all the positives and all the negatives as I find them. Now, as always, let's begin by talking about the case and the size of the watch. The watch has a 39mm case diameter. It's about 47.5 millimeters from one lug to another. The thickness is 12.8 millimeters, including the domed sapphire crystal, and it has a 20 millimeter lug opening. Here it is on my roughly 7.5 inches wrist. I think this size of a watch is a perfect fit for so many people. That's why it's becoming so popular. I think more and more companies are introducing watches in this 39mm case diameter. The watch is also pretty thin, so it fits on the wrist just right. It doesn't have any weird pressure points. And the crown, even though it's pretty big and it doesn't have any crown guards, I'm happy to say it doesn't really dig into your wrist. In terms of the case itself, we have a satin finish on top of these lugs and a high polish finish on the sides of the case. There's a bit of a chamfered edge breaking up the transition. The finishes are executed pretty well, and I also like the fact that it has drilled lug holes. I think this sort of vintage inspired style to the lugs really fits the character of this watch. There's a screw down case back featuring this nice big crescent, and the way this case back is designed, at least according to Escudo's website, is that this crescent will always be right side up. At the 3 o'clock position, we have this crown. It's absent of any crown guards. It's a screw down crown since this is a diver watch, and the watch has 200 meters of water resistance. The design of this crown is kind of interesting. It has a Escudo logo on it. It also is finished in a different color. Screwing and unscrewing the crown is easy enough. I really don't have any complaints about operation of this watch. The dial has this very pleasant blue color. It is a matted dial, so it plays with the light in a very interesting manner. We have applied indexes for hour marks, and there is no date wheel. I like a nice clean dial on a diver watch. We see a set of sword style hands. The hands are loomed, the indexes are loomed, and even parts of the bezel are loomed. Here's a loom shot for your reference. As you can see, the loom is actually pretty good. Not too much writing actually on this dial. We have a Escudo logo closer to the 12 o'clock position, and then we have some writing by the 6 o'clock position, your standard automatic, water resistance, and also the model name. Clearly the design of this watch is very vintage inspired, and that's why the watch features this boxed and domed sapphire crystal. I'm a big fan of these type of crystals on watches. Overall, the design of this watch kind of reminds me of Tudor Black Bay 58, without the crown guards, with that sort of red and green triangle at the 12 o'clock position on the bezel. The case shape itself, there are quite a few different elements of Tudor Black Bay 58, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think this is necessarily a copy. It does pay homage in certain things, including this boxed and domed sapphire crystal. If I were to have one complaint about this crystal, it does have some AR coating, but I think it needs more. It's not bad, but it could be better. And I think with a few more layers of AR coating, you would really showcase this beautiful dial. So as it stands right now, it's okay, but could use a little bit more AR. The bezel is a 60-click unidirectional bezel with very firm bezel action, nice confident clicks, and I also like these sort of protruding points or protruding marks all along the bezel. I think they look really cool, although I do have one small nitpick, and it's the fact that some of them are labeled. As you can see, it has the 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 for the minutes countdown. I wish they didn't include these numbers. I think the overall design would look much cleaner without the printing of these numbers on the bezel, but that's just my personal opinion. On the positive side, I really like the color of this bezel. I think it works really well, and it makes the watch stand out a little bit. In fact, I got some compliments actually wearing this watch out and about. I rarely get compliments on watches. Make of that what you will. Some people did notice this one because of that stark blue bezel and the stark blue dial. The watch is powered by essentially a Sellita SW200 no date variant that has 38 hours of power reserve, 26 joules, and it beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. According to Escudo's website, they did decorate and slightly modify the movement. I think the modification was really the decorating of this movement. Really, I have no complaints. It's a very popular movement in this price category, and I think this example is beating fairly accurately. I'm getting within 5 seconds per day. In terms of strap options, you have a few options. You can go with a leather strap, you can go with the rubber strap, or a NATO strap. Escudo did send me both the leather strap and the rubber strap, and here's the watch on both of these straps. I think on the rubber strap it works better because this is a diver watch, but I think on the leather strap it looks better. It just looks a little bit more refined. And actually these strap options are one of my big negatives with this watch. In this price category, around $1,500, I think most people would expect a stainless steel bracelet. Maybe to some people it's not a big deal. To me, it kind of is. I am a bracelet guy, so I do wish that this watch came with a stainless steel bracelet and then have the straps as extra bonuses. In terms of straps themselves, they're actually pretty good quality. The leather strap is nice and thick. It feels hefty. It feels pretty good. The hardware also feels pretty good. Both the rubber strap and the leather strap have these custom tank buckles that feature a Escudo logo on them. So I spoke a little bit about the value already, but let's kind of sum everything up. So for the most part, it's actually a very solid watch. It offers a lot of great things that maybe other watches don't offer. The quality is pretty good, the specs are there, but it is missing a few things. Number one, it's missing a stainless steel bracelet. Number two, maybe AR coating could be stronger. And number three is this price point. You have to really love this design, really love this watch, and want this specific thing to justify that $1,500. By the way, there is a 5% discount if you're interested in this watch. We're not getting any kickback or anything like that. We're not getting paid for this. It's just a nice thing that Escudo wanted to do for our viewers. So if you use code BOND, you get 5%. But even with the 5% discount, it is still a bit on the expensive side. I'm excited to see what Escudo does in the future. I think it's not a bad watch. It's actually a pretty good watch, just a little bit too expensive. But those were my thoughts on the watch. Let me know what you think about it in a comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this. And a huge thank you to Escudo for providing this watch for review. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.